Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? You're here with Mark Boutwell, CEO of Perfect Gardens. I just want to share this call with you with one of our clients. He just recently purchased a grow tent, and I always love recording these calls because a lot of phenomenal information and a number of great questions come up as new growers come online, and these questions are always repetitive in one way or another, and some of them are new, some of them are asked slightly differently, and I always like to record them and for you guys because you guys are loyal watchers, and thank you so much for cultivating the plant. Also, one last thing, this customer got this consulting call because he purchased a package. Every single package you purchase with us, you're gonna get $50 value, 30 minutes on the call with us. So as you see here, I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but in the next 30 minutes, let's see what arises.
Disconnect at this time.
You're out of the Home Depot?
Yeah, back to my car.
Okay.
All good.
Cool. So let's, if you're okay with it, would you like to keep talking and
Yeah,
tell you?
I got time
Okay.
from now, so whatever it takes.
So did that first question, did that make sense about the ventilation?
Yeah, I looked at your videos because I try to do everything like through YouTube and videos first, see if I can get the answer before calling you. And I saw that you guys recommend putting stuff like your ballast, your fan on the outside, so you don't create any temperature changes inside the tent. And the more consistent you stay, well, the better everything goes, right? And you don't want to be creating heat.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. The main concept of that basically is if you could imagine getting in a plane, flying to Alaska in the dead of winter, and then go outside for a few hours, and then jump back on a plane, go to Phoenix, Arizona, where it's 110, 120, get off the plane for a few hours, and then repeat that cycle constantly. What will happen to your immune system?
Yeah. It just never really gets going. It's always fighting back and forth, up and down.
Exactly. And what I always like to put things in question form, just because I always like that's how I was taught, and if you like something different, just let me know. But
yeah.
Basically, the plants will have this cycle. They'll have this veg cycle, and you can keep them in this veg cycle suspended for a certain amount of time until at some point the plants are going to stress out, and then they're going to start flowering. But then the second you switch them to flowering, you put this clock down on them, or down, clock down, where it counts down. Oh, sorry about it. It counts down the clock basically, and every strain is slightly different clocks. But the thing about it, though, is no matter what, because it's that clock down or that countdown, that plant is going to it's only going to be able to collect a certain amount of energy from the lights, indoor lights, or from the sun, and it's only going to be able to use a certain amount of energy during that time. And if it's using that energy to recover from stresses or recover from things that don't like maybe bugs or mold or other things, it's going to put that energy to recovery.
Yeah.
Exactly, versus growing.
Lamp too low, everything. Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly. And that's what the fun thing is about indoor growing. It's not just about getting your medicine and growing your plants and growing your food. It's also a personal challenge and achievement for the grower, because you're learning a new craft that gardening is not something that's very common nowadays. So does that make sense?
No, for sure. I've learned a lot, and I've already gone. And I've tried a little bit of hydroponics and soil, and for some reason I feel like I dig soil a lot more and been a lot more successful with soil, so I'm sticking to that. So I've learned a lot, and I've got a patio, and the weather keeps changing in Austin, so I got the tent. but now I just don't try to figure out the setup exactly how I want it. And okay, so I'm not going to put those things in the tent. I'm going to start off by hanging the filter first, correct?
You would start off by hanging the filter first. Get it out of the way. Exactly. When you walk into your grow room, you're going to want to always put the things that are least accessible in first. And yes, your filter is always going to be, because you're going to want that filter as high up as possible for a number of reasons. The filter is going to be high up because it's going to you're going to suck the maximum amount of heat out of that room. And heat rises, so when you put that filter high up, because the heat rises, it's really helping that heat be really one directional for you. If you put that charcoal air filter lower, it would end up fighting that natural process where the heat rises. It would go down. And it would go down and up, and the what's up real high would get stuck in stagnated air, and then what goes down low, your heat would come down low, and again it would put your plants in more consistent, drier environments, which would lead to leaf getting dried out and probably more spider mites, because spider mites like dry, warm environments.
Gotcha.
So just by putting it higher up, you end up avoiding a lot of little things.
So, okay, it's going to go up there, and then I'm guessing I'm going to put the little converter that goes from a 4-inch, because it's a 4-inch filter, and I'm going to put this little converter, switches it over to a 6-inch. That way I can put my ducks in, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and
exactly.
But it's funny because I've never really looked at the filters. It seems like one side doesn't have an end, just like a drum, flat, and then the other side's got the hole in the fan on the scrubber.
Exactly. So, sorry to interrupt you. I apologize. How that whole system works is that it works off of one second. It works off of a negative pressure system.
You're sucking air like a vacuum from the outside, right?
Exactly. And so what you really want is one side to be closed off, and then you put that fan furthest away from that part. So you're going to end up hooking the charcoal air filter, the reducer, the ducking, then to the reflector, then more ducking outside, then your fan will be right on top of that, and then you're then ducking to where it dumps. It could be in your attic. It could maybe you could rig something up so it goes outside a window, something along those lines.
So scrubber, reducer, tubing through the light, out of the light, more tubing, out the tent to the fan, and then the fan, more tubing out to wherever it's going to go.
Exactly,
right?
More tubing. Yes, exactly. More tubing out to where it goes, and that's going to be your ideal setup for your first environment. I like to call it your light environment.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you'll have your plant environment inside your tent.
Okay.
And then your third environment will be the environment outside your tent. So you have environment. Okay, so we'll just reorganize it, kind of keep it a little bit simple. So your light environment is environment 1. Your environment 2 is the environment inside your tent where your plants are growing or existing in. Environment 3.
Temperature.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, environment 2
and
would be
humidity.
like temperature, light distance, humidity, whatever's going on inside after you set it up.
Exactly. That's yes, sir. Exactly. And then the third environment will be the environment outside your tent. The reason why those things, and I bet you can imagine, so the reason why those three environments are important is because your light helps control your temperatures inside your room. And then you have your plant environment, which is you're utilizing in all of these other environments to create the perfect environment inside your tent. So you're utilizing environment 3 outside of your tent to manipulate the air inside of your grow room, and the environment outside of your tent could be 2 separate environments. It could just be the room your tent is in, or it could even be where you're drawing your air in from. So you could be drawing air in from outside your house into your grow room, and that would be environment 3. But if you were getting air from the room that your tent is in, that would be environment 3. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, one could just be a room, and one could be your actual house. One's got AC on and stuff going like that. And it could affect the temperature inside there if you don't do it all, watch it all. But okay, I can deal with that. It's not too bad. My environment's not bad. I've got in the spare room here, so it's all good. I don't think I should mess with that yet. The weather's been pretty good. I've been using a lot of sunlight out here. But pretty much to get back into stealth mode, we're going to go from outside into the tent whenever I get it going here. But I just wasn't sure here. Never mess with the fan. I'm going to put the fan on you said do it up on top over the tent? Tent fan?
Yes. I would encourage you to mount that fan somewhere, because that fan is vibrating, and if there's multiple ways you can mount that. You could mount it with some bolts. You could just put on a bungee cord.
I'm thinking of putting 2 little bicycle hooks up on the ceiling with 2 little bungee cords, and then just put them out here on the little mount from the fan.
Exactly. Play with that. Play with it. I would encourage you to take that little bit of extra time that when you hang it, step back and ask yourself, is this functional? Does it make sense? Will I hit my head if I'm trying to access my plants? Well, when you turn the fan on and just listen to it for 15 minutes. Go outside the grow room. Go to the other areas of the house. And just ask yourself those questions. Sit down, close your eyes, and ask yourself, will this bother me? If it's just like this, and then make small adjustments as you're setting up, because the first cardinal mistake people do is put plants in the grow room before they finish setting up the grow room.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. I got to make this fit just right before I put stuff in there. It's going to just be a dark closet. Yeah. I did a lot of practicing before I decided to purchase a tent, before I dropped $900,000. So, that's why I'm just trying to get it set up right. So I don't feel so bad about it.
No, that's why we throw in this call.
I'm sure I'm not the first person.
Too.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely
not. That's why. Yeah, exactly. I was right along with you too, years ago.
Gotcha. Yeah. You learn like anything else. Practice. Once you do it once, it's easy. Like cooking, whatever. But I'm going to try.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was still talking about the fan. I was just going to put the reducer on it and probably wrap it with a little bit of that tape. And that's how you get it to stay on there, I guess.
Exactly. That's all you need. You don't need screws or screw gun. That tape is very strong. Just give yourself about at least a quarter of an inch, maybe a half inch on each side of a lip where the tape can really grab onto, and that's all you're going to need.
Okay.
It's all the way across from the ducking onto the reflector. On the opposite side, all the way to the fan, and all the way to the outside. You won't need screws or screw guns or any of that stuff.
So put that, and I'm going to run the ducting. I got to make sure that I can drop the light enough and have enough ducting for it to come all the way down, like 3 feet, 4 feet there, on both sides.
Yep.
That's right. And then I guess that'll be the next step, and just go from there. And I'll probably get my light up there after I get all that set up. I'll probably put the actual fan the mounting part would be the last thing once I figure out where I want it. Like you said, turn it on, listen to it, see if you like it there. If not, but
Exactly.
yeah, I guess it's steps. Just feel it all out.
Really,
Would
you really do.
them?
You know,
Uh-huh.
you put the ducking up. You put the ducking up. I guarantee you're not going to move that fan. I promise you. You put that ducking up with that fan on the first shot, you're going to keep convincing yourself that it's fine. Well, it keeps annoying you.
I was thinking of mounting the ballast like on a piece of wood or something, so just leaning against the wall in my place here, so it's not sitting on the carpet, or I don't drill it into the actual wall of the room.
I'm gonna be always straight up with you. You know, it's scary straight up with you. You're like, why is this person being this scary straight up with me? I'm reconsidering what I'm doing. Okay.
No, I'm not reconsidering. It's like installing an amplifier in a car. You're gonna have to put it somewhere, though. Put it somewhere.
Exactly. On a piece of wood is the safest thing. We're using very high wattage. That's meant for industrial use in warehouses, not where there's metal. There's not things that are going to catch fire or anything. And these are very. They run off fuses now. They pop. There's no big deal. But you definitely want to mount it on a piece of wood, and you don't want it. I always encourage people to keep the wires off of the floor, off of walkways, anywhere that someone can trip. You're going to be dealing with water and electricity in closed environments or small environments. So, taking that extra time to make sure you have running the wires along, really nice wiring. Get some zip ties. Zip it up along the tent, and then from the tent, you have additional hooks where you're running the wire, and then even zip tying the wires to those hooks as they run the roof, and then down the sides, and so on. Just that little extra precaution it's just really it saves you. It saves you every time. In just mental ease, at least.
And put it in a good spot where it's easy to access whenever you change from 400 to 600 and change the wattage in the output here. Shouldn't be too hard. I'll mount it up. I'm crafty like that. Make it happen.
That's another good point. Like you said, you also want access to that ballast, so it's dimmable. We upgraded that ballast for you, and now you're going to have to access it so you can reach up and just turn that dial or flip that switch, however they're created now, whatever version they have now, and be able to adjust it as you want to. So that's a great point as well.
And I think that's all I had right now. Just wanted to make sure I had my steps lined up correctly to run the ducting, and I'm gonna get it all set up, and just probably take a little bit longer than I thought, but we're already working on it. And once I get this thing fired up and working, I'm sure I'll feel a lot better about it, and I'll be giving you another call, and hopefully I got it all set up. When I'm all happy about it, then I'm gonna send you that PayPal too. So you just get this thing running here.
I appreciate that.
I got you in mind, and any other questions, I'll be hitting you back.
Yeah, hit me back, and we'll do the same thing. We'll get on the call, because I guarantee my goal, our mission is to help you grow, and there's always a little give and take, but I really want to get you going. I want you to be the lights on, the plants underneath them, and you feeling comfortable, and then at that point I feel like, okay, you bought this package, and we've you're set up for success to the best we could be at this point.
I'm a good gardener. I just don't know how to set up my tent. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm on the other side. I learn how to garden.
I'm gonna just throw this one out there. Just to throw this one out there. I know this may sound completely, and I do not. I believe you. I want to be very clear with you on that. And I'll just talk to you. I'll talk to you about my father. My father, world-class gardener. I mean, industrial farming all the way, and when he switched over into indoor growing, he failed for the first 8 months. Completely. I know. Just your gardening skills are going to be very essential for the plants, but you're kind of becoming a meteorologist and a contractor and an electrician
Oh, you're
You know what
everything
I
here.
mean?
You're doing it all. Yeah.
You really are doing it all. You really are. And so sometimes it gets overwhelming and you're dealing with one thing, and that's why we always encourage you to finish the grow room first, but you're dealing with one thing and then you're also having to be a gardener as well. And sometimes they get overwhelming.
Yeah, I had to break down my old tent. You know, it's one thing, you know, it's all steps. But, you know, like you said, it just can be a little overwhelming, but one thing at a time, it'll get done.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
it'll turn out badass when it's done here. So
It will. I promise it will.
So I don't want to overwhelm myself with more steps here. So let me get these things done. Hopefully it gets going good from there. And I'll give you another call in a couple of days or sooner.
Okay. It's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything and talk to you soon.
Thanks for the feedback, man. Thanks. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye. All right. So everyone, if you guys enjoyed that call and enjoyed the feedback and the conversation and being a sounding board as well, just come over here to the website perfectgardens.com. Go to Grow Help and click Grow Tent Consulting 30 minutes. If you guys have any questions on this video, please post below. Give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. Thank you so much and have a great grow.